Hello, friends. Get your coffee, whether it's caffeinated, decaffeinated, or chai tea latte, because we're here for the pilot episode, episode 1 of season 1 of Friends. Here with my friends from Table Read Tuesday that are here to read with us. So happy to have them. And I'm going to go around my little Zoom friend thing here, and people will tell you who they are, where you can find them, so you can follow them, like them, hire them, see how awesome they are. First, in my corner, we have Morgan Toll.
Hey guys, I'm Morgan. I am a SAG-AFTRA actor and voice actor from Los Angeles, California. I'm also the talent partnership executive at streamily.com. Definitely check it out if you haven't heard of it. And you can find me on Instagram at Morgan Elizabeth Toll.
Awesome. All right. And next we have Clint Monroe.
Hey, my name's Clint Monroe. I am continuing my life hiatus, i.e. extended sabbatical for health-related problems, and reinventing myself in the process. So when I come out of this cocoon, who knows what I'll be. But until that time, just wait. And don't reach out because I will find you. See you later.
All right. We're here and we can't. Well, we're waiting and we're happy to wait, but we can't wait. If you know what I mean.
I get it.
All right. Next we have Roxzane.
Hello, I'm Roxzane Armstrong. I'm an actor here in Central Alberta. I have been on a bit of a hiatus and I'm just back. So this is my first time reading again in a couple of months, and I'm excited to be here.
And we're excited to have you back. And next, Heather.
Hello, my name is Heather Leigh Cameron. I'm an actor, I'm a voice actor, I'm a writer, I'm a freelance journalist, and I'm an independent filmmaker. I live in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada, and tonight I'll be reading Phoebe. You can find my work on Heather Leigh Freelancer on Facebook or on YouTube under the Storm and Latter-day Saint. I am definitely looking for all type of acting work and writing work. I absolutely love being here, and if you want to reach out, give me some sort of work, you can reach me through my social medias, which are on my YouTube page, or at heather.lee.cameron@gmail.com. Thank you.
All right. And that YouTube page, also we have below on our YouTube page where you're watching this. If it's not in the first row, you can scroll over to the characters or casts or regulars. So click Heather's stuff there to get more information, and everybody else. All right. And next we have Kat. Thank you for being here. Please tell them about yourself.
I am Kat Wilson from Gig Harbor, Washington, and I am excited to read today. I normally read Shakespeare on the weekends with 2 households in Fair Corona, and get to do this when we're not reading Shakespeare. So pretty fun.
We're happy you're not reading Shakespeare tonight. But yes, if anybody else huge fans of Shakespeare, go join that. Go check that out. All right. Then we'll get ready. We're going to read Friends, and then afterwards we're going to talk about it. So let me share the screen. And Kat, whenever you're ready, take us away.
Friends Like Us, pilot, written by David Crane and Marta Kauffman. First draft, March 3rd, 1994. Want me to do the characters too? So we have characters Monica, Rachel, Phoebe, Ross, Joey, and Chandler. All in their 20s, all trying to figure it out. Act 1, fade into the interior coffee house afternoon, a rainy afternoon. Monica, Joey, Chandler, and Phoebe are hanging out talking. We hear snatches of conversation broken up by a series of dissolves.
I'm telling you, I've had it with the whole dating thing.
Yeah.
I mean it this time. If I have to laugh at another stupid antidote or eat another Caesar salad, I'm going to kill myself.
I don't hate dating.
That's because you don't date. You just move in with guys.
That's true.
You know what my favorite kind of date is?
The kind where you don't leave your gum in her ear?
I can't believe you told her.
Chandler. I couldn't help myself.
So wait a minute. If you're not dating anyone, what's tonight?
Vicky. Oops.
Tonight is not a date. It's not. It's just two people going out to dinner and not having sex.
Sounds like a date to me.
Resolve to interior the same later. There are more half-empty plates on the table. Joey's arguing with Monica.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
What? I said you had a very nice butt. It's just not a great butt.
You know who had a great butt? Speed Racer. Well, he did.
You know what? I'm not even gonna listen to you. You wouldn't know what a great butt was if it came up and bit you.
There's an image.
Resolve to interior the same a little later. More dishes and cups litter the table. Chandler is in the middle of relating a dream.
All right, I was back in high school in the middle of junior, senior lobby, and I realized I'm totally naked.
I've had that dream.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Then I look down and I realize there's a phone there.
Instead of,
Yep.
I have never had that dream. You are
Yeah.
alone.
you're all alone.
All of a sudden, the phone starts to ring. I don't know what to do. Everyone starts looking at me.
They weren't looking at you before?
Finally, I figure out I better answer it. Turns out it's my mother, which is really weird because she never calls me.
Oh, yeah, that's what's weird.
In the midst of this, Ross, Monica's older brother, enters. He is totally despondent. He moves to the others and sits.
Hi.
This guy says hello. I'm gonna kill myself.
You okay?
I feel like someone reached down my throat and just grabbed my small intestine, pulled it out of my mouth, and tied it around my neck. Cookie? Cat, do you want Chandler?
Carol moved her stuff out today.
Phoebe goes to Ross and waves her hands wildly, very close to his head.
What are you doing?
I'm cleansing your aura.
Well, don't. Just leave my aura alone. I'll be fine. Really? Look, I hope she'll be happy.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Okay. I hope she'll be happy, but not until I'm happy, which may take forever, but hell with her. She left me.
And you never knew she was a lesbian?
No! Why does everyone keep fixating on that? She didn't know. How should I know? It's not like there's a mark on her head. Sometimes I wish I was a lesbian. Did I say that out loud? I told Mom and Dad last night.
Yeah, I know. Then they called and yelled at me for an hour and a half. They couldn't quite explain how I'm reasonable for your ex-wife's sexual preference, but that didn't stop them.
All right, look, you're feeling a lot of pain right now. You're angry. You're hurt, blah, 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 blah. You know what the answer is? You need another woman.
Oh, please. That's your answer to, do you want more coffee?
Hey, you gotta get back on the horse.
And speaking for all women, thank you for the livestock analogy.
But I don't want another woman. I don't want to be single. I don't want to put together all the IKEA furniture by myself. I just want to be married again.
At that moment, a woman in a bridal gown enters. Seeing this, Chandler takes a shot. And I just want a lot of money. He looks at the door expectantly. Nothing. See? Now why doesn't it work for me? The bride goes to the counter. She is soaking wet from the rain, and as she orders coffee,
Isn't that Rachel Robbins?
Where?
Where?
Monica sees that indeed she knows the wet bride.
Be right back. Rachel?
Rachel turns and sees her. She greets Monica with an outpouring of relief.
Oh God, Monica. Hi. Oh, thank God. I went to your apartment and you weren't there and I didn't know what to do. And so I just came in here for, thanks, coffee.
That's $1.25.
Oh, right. I just have the penny by Aunt Harriet put in my shoe for luck.
I'm guessing it didn't work.
She pays. There's an awkward moment as she surveys the soaking wet bride.
So, what's new?
Not much. I'm supposed to get married in about 15 minutes.
Ah, I didn't know. I guess that's because I wasn't, I don't know, invited.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's your wedding.
Monica.
I mean, I know we haven't kept in touch lately, but
Monica, these shoes hurt. This cup is hot. Think you could go over this a little faster?
I'll work on it. Come on.
She takes her back to the table.
Everybody, this is Rachel, who I thought was my best friend in high school. Rachel, this is everybody. Joey, Chandler, and Phoebe. And you remember my brother Ross.
Sure.
Hi.
Great dress.
Thanks. It's Versace.
What happened?
Oh God. I don't know. I guess it was the gravy boat that started it.
Isn't it always?
I was in this room where we were keeping all the presents and I was looking at this gravy boat. It's really gorgeous Limaquan gravy boat. And all of a sudden I realized that I was more turned on by this gravy boat than by Barry. And I got really freaked out. And I was talking about it with Mindy, my maid of honor. And that's when it hit me how much Barry looks like Mr. Potato Head. I mean, I always knew he looked familiar, but so anyway, I just had to get out of there and I didn't know what to do or where to go. You were the only one I knew who lived here in the city.
Who wasn't invited to the wedding?
She smiles guiltily and shivers and sneezes. Two. Interior Monica's apartment later. Close on a TV, a Spanish language soap opera is in progress. We pull back to reveal the group riveted, trying to guess the plot. All but Rachel, who is in the kitchen talking on the phone. She's now wearing a borrowed pair of jeans and a sweatshirt, towel drying her hair. Okay. The lady in the red dress is really pissed at the guy who can't stand still because
Because he's breaking up their affair.
Because he's wearing her top.
Meanwhile, Rachel is speaking with her father.
Hi, Daddy. No, it's okay. I'm okay. Really, I'm sorry, I can't marry him. Well, I just don't love him. Well, it matters to me. Daddy, please don't yell. May I speak? May I speak? May I speak?
After a moment, she holds the phone away from her ear. We can hear the muted squawking of her father. She looks at the television.
The woman in the red dress is upset because he knows who tried to steal her baby. I took Spanish in college.
That sucks all the fun out of it.
They change the channel and land on Susan Powder pushing her diet and exercise regime. Is it me, or is there something ironic about a bald, anorexic woman jumping up and down, screaming, "Stop the insanity"? Meanwhile, Rachel's arguing with her father, upset.
But Daddy, it's my life. Well, maybe that's my decision. Well, maybe I'll stay here. Maybe I don't need your money. Wait, I said maybe.
But there's nothing but dial tone. They all stare at Rachel. She looks pale. Dissolved to the same a little later. Monica, Phoebe, and Ross sit with Rachel, who was hyperventilating into a paper bag. Chandler and Joey look on with concern while they raid the fridge.
Just breathe. Breathe. That's it. Just relax. Try to think about nice, calm things.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, doorbells and sleigh bells and something with mittens. La la la, something and noodles that stray. These are a few of my favorite things.
Don't sing.
It's gonna be okay. Come on, we've all gotten along fine with without your father's money. You can too.
You're right. You're right. I've never lived on my own and taken care of myself. And although it doesn't sound like something I particularly like, if I'm ever going to try it, now's the time. So
What? Oh no, look, I'm really not good with the roommate thing. No one should be around me in the morning. Tell her.
It's true. She's a nightmare. I used to live with her. She's a total bee with an itch.
There you see.
Listen, she says, no, you can always stay with Joey. Me and Chandler live right across the hall.
Joey, stop hitting on her. It's her wedding day. All right, look, we can try it, but the minute we start sharing clothes for giving each other bikini waxes, you're out of here.
Intercom buzzer.
Mm-mm.
Can I take your order?
It's Paul.
Wasn't. I totally forgot. I'm supposed to go out with this guy tonight. I'll just tell him I can't do it.
Because let's not forget, it's not a real date.
no, go. I'll be fine. Really.
Monica opens the door to reveal Paul, a nice-looking guy in his late 20s.
Hey, come on in. Paul, this is everybody. Everybody, Paul.
Paul enters. Everyone says hi. And when his back is to them, they indicate to Monica, "Ben, all right. Yeah."
I'll be right out.
She exits into the bedroom.
Here's a tip. She really likes it when you rub her neck on the same spot over and over and over again till it starts to get a little red.
Shut up, Joey.
Joey shrugs. Ross turns to Rachel, a little awkward.
So, do you have any plans tonight?
Well, I was kind of supposed to be heading for Aruba on my honeymoon, so no.
Oh, right. Sure. Well, if you don't feel like being alone, Joey and Chandler are coming over to help me put together my furniture.
Oh, and we're very excited about it.
Thanks. I think I'll just hang out here. It's been a long day.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Hey, Phoebe, you want to help?
I wish I could. I can't. I've got to work tonight.
We cut to the interior of a subway station later. Phoebe is sitting on the ground, playing one of her terrible folk songs. Her guitar case is open for money, and she sings.
Love is sweet as summer showers. Love is a wondrous work of art. But your love, is like a giant pigeon crapping on my heart.
And from that, we cut to the interior of Ross's apartment, the same time. It is a virtually empty apartment. Joey and Chandler are drinking beer and helping Ross put together his new IKEA furniture. Ross is working on something that someday will be a coffee table. Joey reads instructions for a bookcase to Chandler.
All right. You need to attach the bracket thing to the side thing using a bunch of these little worm guys and all of the hooks into the H.
I have no brackety things. I see no worm guys whatsoever. I'm telling you, this is a Swedish conspiracy.
What if I just throw all this stuff out and just use the box as a coffee table? I could put a cloth on it. No one will know.
We cut to the interior of a Japanese restaurant, the same time. Monica and Paul are on their date. The conversation has just come to a standstill.
You know I was married, right?
No, I didn't. Not that this surprises me with things going so well and you being so nice and heterosexual and all, but look, I don't go out with married guys. They have wives.
Well, no. I was married. As in she left me. As in I would be happier to see her trapped in a mine disaster with a yeast infection.
Well, at least you're not angry.
Smiles and shrugs, and we cut to the interior of Monica and Rachel's apartment. Same time. Rachel is talking on the phone. She paces, upset.
I just wanted to say I'm sorry, Barry. I am so sorry. I know you probably think this is all about what I said the other night about you making love with your socks on, but it isn't. It's about me.
She hangs up and redials, waits for the message.
I got beeped off again. Anyway, look, I know you probably hate me, and that's fair, but I wanted you to know that if you ever just want to talk to me or yell at me, I'm here. You know, I still think you're one of the most...
Beep. She's cut off again. She rolls her eyes, hangs up, and redials. We cut back to the interior of Ross's apartment later. The furniture building progresses slowly. Chandler and Joey have just finished building a wall unit. They survey their handiwork proudly.
I'm thinking we got a bookcase here.
It's a beautiful thing. Then Joey notices something on the floor.
What's that?
I would have to say it's an L-shaped bracket.
Which goes where?
And they both stare at the bookcase. I have no idea. Beat. Joey kicks the bracket under the sofa.
Done with the suitcase, bookcase.
Ross is into his second beer. He stares at the furniture pieces around him.
I really miss her.
Well, if you're gonna start up with that stuff, we're out of here.
Yeah, don't spoil the fun.
You're right. I'm sorry. I was cleaning out the bathroom and I found an old box of her maxi pads. I just couldn't get myself to throw them out.
Sure.
So I've been using them as arch supports.
Oh man, don't tell us this. We cut back to the interior of a Japanese restaurant at the same time.
Well, ever since she left, I've been unable to perform sexually.
Yow. I'm sorry. Yow is probably not the most appropriate response.
It's so bizarre. I mean, I meet a woman and it's like my mind is going, yeah. And my body's like, oh, you want to bet?
Yow.
She takes his hand and holds it. We cut back to the interior of Ross's apartment at the same time. The guys have stopped building furniture and are now just getting serious about their beer.
I'm divorced. I'm 26 and I'm divorced.
Shut up.
Oh, Ross, you've got to understand. Between us, we haven't had a relationship that's lasted longer than Mento. You've had the love of a woman for 4 years. 4 years of closeness and sharing, at the end of which she ripped your heart out, and that's why we don't do it. But I don't think that was my point.
Okay. What if there was only one woman for me? What if you only get one and that's it? Unfortunately, in my case, there was only one woman for her.
What are you talking about? One woman? That's like saying there's only one flavor of ice cream for you. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of flavors out there. There's Rocky Road and cookie dough, Bing cherry vanilla. They got kinds with little fudge swirls and nougat. You could get them all with Jimmy's or nuts or no nuts or whipped cream? This is the best thing that's ever happened to you. You got married? You were like, what? 8? Come on. Welcome back to the world. Grab a spoon.
I honestly don't know if I'm horny or hungry now.
Oh, then stay out of my freezer. We cut to the interior of Monica and Rachel's apartment later, close on the TV set. It's an old Happy Days rerun, the one where Joni and Chotzi get married. We pull back to reveal Rachel watching. Oh, there are tears in her eyes and a gallon tub of ice cream in her lap. Chotzi says, I do. Rachel wipes away a tear with her wedding veil.
See? But Joni loved Chachi. That's the difference.
We cut back to the interior of Monica's hallway later. Paul has brought Monica home. They stand outside her door.
This was great. I mean it. I was fully prepared for you to eat with the food on the outside of your mouth or make little bunnies out of your napkin. It's happened, but this was great.
It really was. Anyway.
The air is thick with sexual tension. He leans in to kiss her, but right before their lips touch.
So, can I call you again?
Uh-huh.
Tomorrow, okay?
Uh-huh.
I was thinking we could...
Paul, shut up.
She kisses him. It's a good kiss. They press against each other. All of a sudden, their eyes widen. Monica glances down and Paul tries to suppress a grin.
We're not alone.
I noticed.
This is historic. I mean, oh my God.
She laughs and kisses him again. Then,
You want to commit?
I don't know. I mean, I do, but I don't know. Maybe we should take it slow.
Believe me, I'm all for slow.
Okay. Tomorrow, we'll talk.
Tomorrow. Good night.
she turns. There's a beat. They kiss again and again, and they fall into the apartment. We cut to the exterior of New York, stock shot, the skyline of New York at night. We hear the last strains of Phoebe's song.
And your love, your love, your love is like a fireball in my throat.
And we fade out. Act 2. Fade into the interior of Monica and Rachel's apartment. The next morning, Rachel is in a robe, pouring coffee for Chandler and Joey, who have come over to mooch some breakfast.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, I have never made coffee before in my life.
Oh, that is amazing.
Congratulations.
You know, I figure if I can make coffee, there isn't anything I can't do.
I think it's, if I invade Poland, there isn't anything I can't do.
Listen, while you're on a roll, if you feel like you're going to make, like, I don't know, a Western omelet or something, although actually, not really hungry this morning.
Yeah, just coffee for me. It's a breakfast unto itself.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And she turns her back to put the coffee pot back on the stove. The guys mouth each other. This is perhaps the worst coffee ever brewed by people. At that moment, the door to Monica's bedroom opens. She emerges dressed for work.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
With that, Paul emerges, dressed as he was the night before. He smiles kind of sheepishly.
Morning.
Hello, Paul.
Morning, Paul. Hello.
As Monica leads him to the door,
So do those guys live here?
No, they're just the Lenny and Squiggy of my life.
They stand in the doorway and continue in whispers.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
He kisses her. Monica eyes the others, peering around to see.
We'll talk later.
Thank you.
He goes. Monica closes the door and sighs.
And that wasn't a real date? What the hell do you do on a real date?
I'm afraid that's a mystery you'll never unravel.
All right, kids. I've got to get to work. If I don't input those numbers, it doesn't make much difference.
So, like, you guys all have jobs?
The other three exchange a look.
Yeah, we all have jobs. That's how we buy stuff.
I'm an actor.
Oh, wow. Would I have seen you in anything?
I doubt it. It's mostly regional work.
Unless you happen to catch the We One's production of Pinocchio at in the park.
It was a job, all right?
Look, Geppetto, I'm a real live boy.
Thank you. You both can die slowly.
He storms out. Chandler follows. He really was very good. He leaves and Monica goes over to Rachel.
How are you doing today?
Not as good as you, but I'm okay, really. Go. You go to work.
And with that, she takes her coffee, curls up on the couch, and turns on the TV. As Katie Couric chats with Bryant, Monica goes over to Rachel.
Rach, little thing. If you're gonna be staying here, you're gonna have to help with the, rent,
Okay.
which probably means getting one of those job things.
Oh, okay. Not a problem.
Really?
Hey, I made coffee.
As Monica ponders this, we cut to the interior of Chandler's office later. Well, not really an office, more like a tiny cubicle. Chandler sits before his computer screen. Rachel is visiting. He's sharing his work ethic with her. I know sitting in front of this thing is killing my brain cells and my sperm, but I get to make free long distance calls, so what the hell? Chandler's supervisor, an older woman with a grim expression, passes by. She peers over the top of Chandler's cubicle. He smiles up at her. Oh, hello, Mrs. Van Boon. You're looking lovely today. Is that a new pin? Smells like autumn, don't you think? The woman says nothing. She gives him one final dark look and moves off. Woman scares the hell out of me. Anyway, your resume. Okie dokie. Previous experience.
None.
None. Job skills.
None.
That's two nuns. One more and they can walk into a bar. Okay. Education.
A bachelor's in art history.
With a minor in
Dance.
dance. You should do just fine. We cut to the interior of Bloomingdale's later, near the fragrance counter. Joey is now in a tuxedo. He holds an atomizer, which he offers to passing customers.
Aramis? Aramis? Aramis?
Rachel comes up.
Hey, gorgeous. How's the hunting?
Ugh, don't ask. But I got an interview here at 4 as an assistant buyer. I mean, doesn't that sound like the perfect job for me? And if anything, I'm overqualified.
If anything, you're late.
Oh.
Go!
She runs off.
Aramis? Aramis?
We dissolve to interior the same a little later. Joey is now coming on to a very attractive woman customer.
Here. Smell me.
Rachel comes bounding up, buoyant.
Hey, Joey.
You got the job?
No, but I found this great pair of boots.
She opens her shopping bag. He looks in, reads the price on the box.
Wow. $400? You really got this whole impoverished out of work thing down.
Rachel beams. We cut to the interior of a restaurant kitchen at the same time. Monica is at work as an assistant chef in an elegant uptown French restaurant. She's in a great mood, still in the flush of afterglow. Franny, another young woman chef, comes up beside her as they saute. Hey,
Hey,
how was your weekend?
not bad.
You had sex, didn't you?
I say have had sex, yes. Onions.
And the drought is over. So, who?
You know, Paul, the wine guy.
Oh, yeah, I know Paul. Is he unbelievable or what? I mean, I never could see you going out with him seriously. I mean, such a hound. But between those, what smutters? Oh, hello.
When did you go out with him?
I don't know, like 2 months ago. As Monica and the onions burn, we cut to interior coffee house later that evening. The group is gathered.
Of course it was a line.
What? Why would anybody do something like that?
I assume we're looking for an answer more sophisticated than to get you in bed.
Let's put it this way. Were you especially attentive last night? Especially selfless and giving? You know, making a little extra effort because it was all about him?
I hate men. I hate men.
She's right. A woman would never do something like this.
Oh, yeah? Well, you ever hear about a man faking it?
We do that for you.
And don't think we don't appreciate it.
Is it me? Is it like I have a beacon that only a beacon that only dogs and men with servers emotional problems can hear?
It's not you.
I think it might be ninth grade, Ronnie Sugarman, and that kid from camp who was afraid of your bike.
Oh, and remember when Doug McAllister tried to feel her up with the oven mitt?
Okay.
It sounds like you can really pick him.
Yeah, it's a wonder I haven't slept with you yet.
Ooh.
Well, that's it. Forget dating. I mean it this time. I don't know what that says.
Kennedy's.
Kennedy's could call me.
Oh, especially Kennedy's. Monica throws down her napkin in disgust.
I just thought he was nice, you know?
There's an uncomfortable pause, then.
I can't believe you didn't know it was a line.
As Monica leaps across the table to kill him, we cut to the interior of Monica and Rachel's apartment later. They're all back in the apartment. The guys are again raiding the fridge.
Why don't I just bring my groceries straight to your place?
Okay.
Monica comes across Rachel's Bloomingdale's bag. She takes out the boots.
What's this?
They're my new, I don't need a job. I don't need my parents. I've got great boots.
How'd you pay for them?
Credit card.
And who pays for that?
My father.
So when you say you don't need your parents, you mean except for the stuff you want to buy?
Well, what would you like me to do? Not have my parents pay for anything?
Rach, you can't live off them your whole life.
Well, I know that. That's why I was getting married.
Oh, give her a break. It's hard being on your own for the first time.
Thank you.
I remember when I first came to the city, I was 14. My mom had just killed herself and my stepdad was back in prison. And when I got here, I didn't know anybody, and I ended up living with this albino guy who sold smack in Port Authority. Then he killed himself and I found aromatherapy. So believe me, I know exactly how you feel.
Rachel can only stare at her.
Look, maybe this whole roommate thing wasn't such a great idea. I mean, this is high school all over again. I work every afternoon, every weekend for 2 years to buy this horrible Chevette all together with band-aids and no windows. Her father buys a BMW convertible. This is the real world. I don't need that here.
That was such a great car.
Ross,
Do you know how jealous I was of your car?
oh, please.
I was, because it was yours. I look at you guys in your crappy apartments with no doorman and used furniture, working just to make rent, and I think, this is so great.
So how come I want to hit you with the brick?
I just don't think I can do it. This is me. This is who I am.
Oh, that's not all you are. You think you'd be my friend? Give me some credit.
Rachel stares at her. We dissolve to the interior, the same, a little later. Rachel sits at the kitchen table with her credit card spread out before her. The others look on supportively. Rachel picks up scissors. She hesitates.
Is this really necessary? I mean, I can stop charging anytime I want.
The first step is admitting you have a problem.
I can't do it.
You can.
Come on.
Go, Rach.
They all start to cheer her on.
Oh, God.
With that, she cuts the first card in half. She lets out a little cry while the others cheer.
You know what? I think we should just leave it at that. You know, like a symbolic gesture.
That was a gas card. You don't even have a car in the city.
Okay, fine.
With that, she quickly and painfully cuts through the other cards. If you listen very carefully, you can hear 1,000 retailers scream. Rachel hesitates at the last one. Very nostalgic.
This was my first one. You can hardly see the numbers. They have to punch them in. The magnetic strip doesn't work anymore.
Rachel, cut the card.
Rachel summons her courage and cuts. The others cheer. Monica gives her a hug.
Welcome to the real world. It really sucks. You're gonna love it.
We dissolve to the interior, the same later that night. Joey, Chandler, and Phoebe have left. Monica, Rachel, and Ross sit watching television and eating Oreos. On the TV is the Dr. Bernie show. The veterinarian is showing a woman how to give eye drops to her cat. Ross yawns.
You wanna crash on the couch?
That's okay.
You sure? I'll make you peanut butter and bananas.
Nah, I gotta go home sometime.
Yeah, well, I gotta get to sleep sometimes, so.
She gets up, kisses him on the head, and starts toward the bedroom.
And don't forget, tomorrow's Dad's birthday.
Oh, great. Wait till today to tell me. Like, I can really get a card to him by tomorrow, jerk.
She goes into the bedroom. Ross turns to Rachel.
In my heart, I'm an only child.
You want it?
Split it with you. You probably didn't know this, but back in high school, I had a major crush on you.
I knew.
You did? Really? I always figured you thought I was just Monica's geeky older brother.
I did.
She smiles and she shrugs and gives him a smile. It was a long time ago.
Listen, do you really think, and try not to let my intense vulnerability become a factor here. Do you think it would be okay if I asked you out sometime? Maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Okay, maybe I will. Night.
Night.
He gets up and starts for the door. Monica comes out of her bedroom. She sees his face. He is clearly very pleased with himself.
What's with you?
I just grabbed a spoon
And with that, we dissolve to an interior coffee house several days later. Monica, Phoebe, and the guys are hanging out.
Okay, fine. It's a great butt. It's a phenomenal butt. In a Ned Beatty sort of way.
Shut up. Just shut up.
Monica laughs. The waitress comes over to the table. You guys want any coffee? We pull back to reveal the waitress is Rachel. Did you make it or are you just servant?
Just serving it.
Heck, sure, I have
Okay.
some.
I'll have
Fill
some.
her up.
As she pours,
You know who had great legs? Mr. Green Jeans.
When did you see his legs?
and as they all chime in, laughing and talking at once, we fade out. Tag. We fade into the interior of Ross's apartment. Evening. All of the furniture is finished, and all of it is a little askew. Ross goes to his kitchen table and sets a glass down on it. He sits. The chair is visibly uneven, rocking from leg to leg. As he tries to fix it, the glass begins to slowly slide down the slanted table. He catches it just in time. There's a knock at the door. Ross gets up and answers it. He's surprised to discover Carol, his soon-to-be ex-wife.
Carol.
Hi. The place looks good.
Especially if you go like this, which is because all of the furniture is kind of. Never mind. So what's up?
I'm pregnant. The glass falls off the table. Ross glances at it, then back to Carol.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I'm pregnant, and I want to keep it.
Is it mine?
Well, we know it's not Susan's. Ross takes us in, and on this little cliffhanger, we fade out. Well, that was short.
Good job,
Yeah.
friends.
That was fun. Did anybody hear my singing? Were they bothered by it?
Oh, your singing was hilarious.
That was great.
We heard it. But on
Thank
that
you.
cliffhanger, if everyone wants to take a little fiver for the restroom, get some drinks, we can talk about it some more.
If anybody else wants to hear me sing for them or perform for them for things, I do sing. You just got to contact me about that.
Cool.
All right, be right back.
I'll be back in a bit.
minutes. Keep finishing the episode. Mm-mm. Thanks for taking on all that additional stuff, Kat. There might have been a arrangement that made more sense, but it worked. You did good. Appreciate it.
It's fine. One of the few episodes I've actually seen.
Mm. I watched most of it, and it's well, this is a 60-page script, which I'm surprised about because the episode is only like 22 minutes, standard like 30-minute episode with commercials. So I noticed, like, because I was just watching it before we read, and then I watch a little bit right now because I didn't quite finish it yet. And a lot of the jokes are slightly different. And I didn't write them down, but just how they say certain things, and then when we're reading, I'm oh, that's very different than what was said. The whole part of Chandler helping her with her resume on the phone, him in the office, and Joey with the perfume or whatever, that's all cut out. That's not in the episode.
Interesting.
I'm still looking for more that wasn't in the episode to be able to cut it that much shorter. But
I didn't think I remembered that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird because I could so picture having seen it, but that's probably just my imagination.
Maybe they saved it for another episode. Maybe they
They
put it
did,
in-
Joey did the perfume thing in a different episode, probably a different season, when he had the war with the other cowboy guy spraying the colognes.
That's cool. Yeah, I haven't seen it in so long, but from reading this script, would you guys imagine that series from just the script alone would go on this long and get the actors that at the time were the highest paid actors ever for like a sitcom?
I
No.
think it just goes to show how important actors are, because the actors really made that show work. If I was just reading the script, I would probably not think it was that funny. I wouldn't give it a second thought. But watching it on screen and seeing the actors do it, it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. I was just watching right now, even just some of the blocking or the timing of the gaps between and how they get to rehearse and read it ahead of time, unlike you guys, not a cold read. You're absolutely right, Morgan. The acting was like, wow, that did totally elevate this writing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is really interesting. Like, reading it didn't really like, I mean, there was like some little things to it, but I mean, it definitely wasn't like, oh my gosh, we got to make this script into a huge thing, you know. It didn't really grab you that much. What was your favorite show that we did? Was it Big Bang Theory, or which one did we do that's one of your favorites, Jacob?
Oh, you're asking me. This Is Us, maybe one of the first ones we read this year. Maybe one at the end of the
No,
year.
it was a comedy sitcom.
Oh, I forget offhand.
Yeah. Anyways, I remember that one being like more like swinging for the fences kind of writing, you know, trying to get it sold. And like, yeah, this one totally, I guess it is just the how the actors worked the whole scene. And it makes sense why they probably changed it so much. This could have been like a really early draft.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if it was early draft or did they rework it a little bit on like the day and the editing room or whatever. Mhm.
I don't know, humor takes a lot of timing too, so it just slightly, each person's slightly different on how they're funny. And so it might have just come out the way that particular actor or actress felt that day, just kind of adding their own interpretation of character in. So not necessarily intentionally changing the script, but that's just how it flowed in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly a director, some credit to. I don't know how much they guided any of that. If needed. Cool.
Yeah, I wonder if
They did these in front of live audience, didn't they?
Yeah. I wonder if the people that created it had like enough clout to just kind of say, yeah, this is our pilot and we're going to stick with it. Because it did do what a pilot does and introduce all of the characters. And there was like, the whole thing with the girl getting pregnant at the end, to leave a cliffhanger for more stuff to follow.
I'm going to be on mute. I'm going to just see that if this is actually in the episode. But I agree with you, Clint. Like it did a really good job of introducing all the characters, and they're each very unique. And it introduces all of like who they are, what they do, the backstory and stuff. But all right, keep talking. I'm going to see if
even Joey was not in this very much, but he was very much set up as like the player of the group.
Mhm.
And Phoebe, just the little short thing that set up that she's had a very weird life.
Yeah.
And I didn't read them, but in the script at the very beginning, they had character descriptions for each one, which I thought, it's unusual to see that in some of the scripts we've read. Usually if there is a list of characters, it's just, maybe a person's name and, who they are, not a full paragraph description about each one.
I feel like we probably should have read that, because I think that's maybe one of the reasons why the script didn't seem like over the top, is because it was more about the characters, and like that was the sales pitch on this particular show, was not so much the witty banter or whatever, but just the unique characters they created. I don't know. I'm speculating here. I wasn't there in 1994. 1994, I was finger painting. So,
All right. This first episode doesn't have the I'm pregnant cliffhanger.
Interesting. What's the cliffhanger in the end of the first one?
It ends with that tag of waitress Rachel with the waitress job. At least it's currently on Max, so that's where it's at. If anybody else wants to watch it and has that.
I don't think did Phoebe sing in the subway in the actual pilot?
I don't remember seeing her sing in this one.
I don't recall that either.
I know she sung sometime in the series because of the Smelly Cat song, but I don't recall her doing it in the pilot.
The only singing it had that I remember from watching it right now was the very, very end here. Like Joey's complaining about his butt, or Monica like judging it or whatever, and she's like kind of singing to that at that moment. But that was
well, the good news is most of it got in, except for the very high note in the one song. Most of the singing did get in. So
you mean on the Zoom recording tonight, or what do you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Those lyrics were hilarious.
But I had fun doing it.
Good. That's part of it. Anybody else have anything? Okay, this is just my ignorance. Maybe it's my age. I don't know. What's Lenny and Squiggy? What were they talking about on that?
Oh,
I don't know who they are.
Lenny and Squiggy are from Laverne and Shirley.
Okay.
Laverne and Shirley, Lenny and Squiggy were the two guys that were just always hanging out with Laverne and Shirley.
Like, I mean, I forget their age, but to me, it also tells the age of the writer, whoever was the one that wrote the thing. Like, they did change one of the things too. On the script we read, it talked about someone getting married. I forget the name of the show.
Was getting married and she ran away from her wedding.
No, but she was watching a show. I think it was the show that has the Fonz in it. And
Joni and Chachi.
Yes, so they were getting married.
That was Happy Days.
Happy Days, but on the TV series, eventually later changed, I think, to Who's the Boss. It had
Did they in the
there was
an pilot?
In the pilot, it was a different one. It was, Charles in Charge. That's who it was. The Charlie guy. Charles in Charge. I think.
It's amazing how popular the show is internationally.
Is it?
I went to the American film market last year, and we were pitching a couple ideas that we had, and one of the things that I noticed is they said that comedies don't really have the best market outside of the States, because a lot of comedy is language based, and when you translate it, the jokes don't land. That's why horror is one of the best sellers, just because if there's a guy chasing after you with a knife, like everybody gets it. It doesn't matter if it's in Mandarin or not. But this show, I mean, I've spent a lot of time outside of the States, and it's amazing how many people have used this show. I was seeing a girl a long time ago, and this is how she learned English. One of the best taxi rides that I ever had in China was from a guy who learned Chinese through watching Friends. I was really surprised. I mean, it's a good show. I'm not saying I'm the biggest fan of it. I like other things, but I was just truly amazed at how many people outside of the United States love this show. And I can't say that I really know too many other shows like that. You know what I mean? Obviously, everybody's seen Breaking Bad, and that's a great one. But this was like
I really
one of the,
haven't.
yeah.
It's this and Seinfeld. They were competitors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of the age that those are two of my favorite shows, and I rewatch reruns all the time. Totally aging myself, but yeah.
What do we call that now? Because it's not exactly reruns anymore, right? Because we need to like create, since we're a group of writers, we need to create a new English word, right? They're no longer reruns because we're not watching them on TV commercials. We have streaming services. So what would we call it when we go on to our streaming service and rewatch an episode?
Nostalgic streaming? I just kidding. No, I don't.
Yeah, we got to
Nostalgic streaming. That sounds about
Are
right.
we really that old? Oh my gosh.
Nostalgia streams. But
We're not that old.
I'm not old.
But I
Reruns
think
still
it's kind of
exist, though.
interesting. Oh, I
What?
was saying, it's kind of interesting how you're saying how it has such a nice international following. That might be because there has so many, not stereotypes might be the wrong word, but so many sort of like actors that are not characters that are sort of, I don't know, pigeonholed. Each is a particular type of character, and I think a lot of it might be playing up to stereotypes people outside the United States have of the United States.
Just like universal truism. Yeah, it's super funny. Like when I was in China, there were two shows. It was either this or Sex and the City. And, China, right, that the government does kind of control the media and its interpretations of it. And one of the ways that they would bastardize the West is that they would talk about the low moral standings of American women and or women in the West, and so that was always Sex in the City. Every time you talk to somebody, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you guys just have sex always and all the time." It's like, nah, man. I mean, here's for hope, but that was a TV show for entertainment purposes. That wasn't a documentary, but then a lot of times too, it would be Friends. Oh yeah, that's totally what America's like, and you're like, hey, not really, man. It was funny.
It is true that like you can, and what makes the show great is that you can kind of identify with one of the characters, and then it's kind of for everybody, because there's going to be like how many conversations have people had like, oh, I'm the Rachel, I'm the Monica, I'm the Ross. Like you identify with a very specific character, and you have that friend group where you are that character in that friend group.
all right. Who would you guys identify yourselves with if you want to say of them?
I'm not sure, I don't know.
Angel posted this little quiz, and apparently
Yeah.
I'm Ross.
I didn't take it. I should have taken it. I usually don't do those.
I
things.
didn't see it.
Yeah, I'll have to do the test to see who I am. I don't know.
I didn't cast this. Angel did, and thank you, Angel.
I feel like I'd be like one of the bit characters. That's who I would be.
I would still be the character that did not understand that was a line. That would go right over my head. That would be me.
Maybe I'm like the upstairs neighbor or something.
That went over my head, Kat. I missed what you were saying.
Oh, I was just saying, when is it Monica that didn't understand that was a line?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So naive. That would have been me.
Yeah.
Clint, would you be the upstairs neighbor who always was banging with the broom
Yeah.
on the roof?
That's my spirit animal.
I mean, I didn't get that it was a line cat while we were reading, and not till the other thing. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I could see how or why or this or that. But yeah, I'll do the test. But of the 6, I thought, again, I didn't cast it, but would have, I guess, most likely relate to Ross, I guess. But yeah.
I always identified as Monica because I'm very OCD and I'm very competitive. So I relate to that.
Hell yeah.
You're casting angel. Yeah. Just kidding.
Maybe I'm a little bit of each of them. I don't know.
That's
You
like,
I'll
like a
just
little
play
bit of each of them if they were at a Star Trek convention. That would be you.
Well, no, just there's certain things like I don't know if you watched later in the season, Monica and Chandler do get together and they have some very personal struggles relating to their desire to build a family. And, I can relate to that. So, and Joey's got some humor that just comes out of being himself. And I can relate to that, as does Phoebe. And Ross and Rachel, they have that loving, motherly, parently desire, and they eventually have a daughter together, and they're just very loving and parent-like towards their friends sometimes, and I've got that in me too. So yeah, even without the Star Trek convention.
Yeah.
But that's just my thought.
cool. Thank you. No, definitely. I guess that's a good show where people can relate to it. And it seems like, at least in this first episode, it has kind of big subjects: people getting married, being able to choose for themselves, people being left, the
I will
struggles of
definitely
dating.
tell you that I did have friends that would come over to my house and raid my fridge. Like it was nothing. And you're like, you realize that I had to work and trade my playtime in order to pay for that food,
Mhm.
I feel like what made the show really good is they really took the joke and just went above and beyond with it. Like all the funny episodes that I can think of, like where he has like the turkey on his head, like they really expand the joke and they get into the physical comedy of it. And so I guess it's harder when you're reading it on the page because that's not there. But when they're actually acting it out and expanding it and doing the physical comedy, it works.
Yeah, like one of the things, like I was watching it right now after we finished during the intermission, and the part where Monica goes to kiss Paul at the door, like just it's funny how the characters are like moving the table over and like watching as they do, like hilarious. And then at the end, I forget what Joey's saying, but Monica just pushes him off the chair, and it just adds so much more to the humor. And yeah,
I mean, can I say, like, in connection to Clint's comment, like, just like Star Trek Deep Space Nine, it was a show that wasn't afraid to touch upon, I guess, sensitive subjects before their time, like, with the OCD that kind of Monica had. And Chandler's other parent, Chandler's father, was transgender, like cross-dresser. What else? And the fact that Ross's wife, Ben's mother, was a lesbian. So they weren't afraid to touch upon sensitive subjects that were considered sensitive because of the time period in which they were explored in the media. And Star Trek Deep Space Nine was really known for that too. In case anybody's ever seen certain episodes of it.
That's one of the, I think, the coolest things about both comedy and sci-fi, right? Is like they're like, with comedy, you use the sarcasm and satire and ridiculousness to kind of poke through these very difficult topics, right? And then on the other hand, you've got sci-fi, which exists in this hypothetical world. So it's not really like it, but it's a great way to hold up the meaning.
Stories that are like censored, like Star Trek in the older days, they used to tell a lot of stories that were considered like forbidden topics. And that's how they told sensitive stories to the audience. They used sci-fi as an excuse and got away with it.
Totally.
I feel like comedy sometimes is a drama made ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because it's like serious things that are happening, but in a ridiculous way.
Yeah, I'm absolutely right.
I was I picked up this book on comedy, and like it was just like just what humor is and how it works and everything. And they said in the book, like they up until like the 80s or even the 90s, there was no class on humor taught at any of the major universities, like at all. There wasn't a study of it, so a lot of these comedies that have been coming out were groundbreaking, and now they're just starting to really study what makes humor. But a lot of this was trial and error and people figuring it out themselves.
When I think of Friends, I think of a well-balanced meal because it wasn't just the dessert or the comedy. There were also the serious moments too, because you can't just have comedy all the time. You've got to have some serious moments in a series. Otherwise, it's just going to be like people are going to get bored. So they've got to have something they can relate to. People could relate to Friends because there's a little bit of both types of experiences.
Yeah, like you and Morgan are
So you're
both
saying that there's a protein and a starch.
Yeah, there's got to be like in a successful TV show. There can be comedy, cool, fun times, yeah, but there's also got to be serious moments because people need to see the different sides of characters and characters experiencing things that the viewers can relate to, and viewers don't always have comedic moments in their lives.
Yeah.
Sorry if that sounded passionate.
No, that's good. But
Appreciate
yeah,
passion.
use your passion. Use your anger. Cool. Yeah, like this one. I mean, those are big subjects that they already talked about in this one, which is humorous. The, divorce or getting married again, or this jerk guy and struggles of dating trying to find a job. But yeah, and they did it comedically.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I can't remember exactly the time frame, but this was 94. Because I remember the whole topic of like divorce becoming more widespread was, I would say, pretty close to this time, when it was still kind of taboo. What would you guys say that are a little bit older than me? Because remember, there was like a time where you just didn't get divorced, and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, everybody's getting divorced. It's happening, It's a breakdown of the American family or the Canadian family. It's just, we're all inclusive here, but I would say that was around that time. I mean, granted, I was 7, so it's not like I was, really like taking in all the social factors at the time, but I do remember it being around that time.
I brought up a thing. Let me share.
It is interesting that you say that because it's like back then, it was like roommates living together. You weren't having like the stereotypical family living together. It was friends living together, and that wasn't seen too much on television.
True.
So it's kind of the first of its kind. And it definitely changes the dynamic of television and in our culture, and kind of puts us in a timepiece because you think about like I Love Lucy, where they're sleeping in separate beds.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the Flintstones. It was the Flintstones who first showed a married couple sharing a bed, I believe.
Really?
So it's interesting how our just culture has changed so drastically over the years.
And
I was watching this. Here, go. I'll let you. What were you saying?
Divorce, like the whole notion of divorce is a reason why a church was created. Because I believe, what was it, King George or something like that? A king over in Europe or the UK or something wanted to get divorced, and the church wouldn't let him do it. So he's like, kind of, forget this. I'm going to make my own church.
Henry VIII.
Yeah. Oh, it was Henry VIII?
Yeah, he was an interesting character.
So that really much affected history. It told people in future generations, hey, divorce is okay. If I'm uncomfortable with the situation, I can change the situation. I don't have to sit in a situation just because somebody tells me to. If I'm uncomfortable, that matters.
Well, I think that's a lot
And
too.
that's
deal
a
with-
message. That's a message that's spread to media, and that's what media is teaching people. If you're uncomfortable, that matters. You can do something about it.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's sounded weird, but whatever.
Or that he's just the king and he can do whatever he wants, despite
Well,
whatever
some people,
laws and
you
lists
know,
he had
like before really, like some people think they can do whatever they want, and the people they affect, their opinions don't matter, but that's simply not true. And media is trying to teach that everybody's opinion matters because every decision affects a lot of people.
Mhm.
And that's the message they're trying to show through media, right?
Some multiple can be saying opposite things, or
I don't know. I'm just talking.
but
Well, I just looked up divorce rates on the CDC website and they said they peaked in like 1979 to 1981-ish.
yeah, that's what I saw too. I was shocked by that.
That's interesting for sure.
My impression was your guys as well. I thought it would just be going up, getting worse, but like it get to 50% there, and then it started going down from there.
I wonder because you had this sexual revolution in the 60s and 70s, right? And then would it be that generation? Or would it be slightly after like cusper Gen Xers that were getting divorced all the time?
Don't know the age of the average ones getting divorced in the 80s.
Yeah.
That'd be another search.
Cocaine and divorces, man. That's what you do. And
That's the
who's
name
the
of
guy
your series.
from Miami Vice? What's his name? Don Johnson. Don Johnson, cocaine and divorces, man. That's the 80s.
The documentary.
Well, we also have to think about that this was also during the time where feminism really became a thing. And women were starting to have jobs and work for themselves. And so it wasn't just the man coming home and the wife, cooking dinner. The whole family dynamic changed.
True. Definitely.
I'm a divorced Gen Xer, and I am thankful for those who came before me.
Yeah.
I'm divorced. I don't know if I'm Gen X or what range I think I might be. I'm on that cusp.
Well, I
believe.
won't ask you your age because that's not respectful, but
I don't care.
then
I'm
how old are you?
44.
Are you really?
That's
What?
the new 20,
You
man.
don't look it.
What do you mean? I look older or younger?
You look young.
Grace.
You look in your 30s, man.
No.
Gen
See,
X
I
is-
think the thing that's happening is as we get older, we don't view everybody else as getting
that's
older
right.
with us. Like the ages goes with us, and the younger people just seem extra young.
You're
When
literally
you
not
see
that
someone
much older.
driving and you're like, what? They can drive? No way.
Yeah, it's
I
like-
love how you talk like you're an old man, Jacob, but you're really not that much older than me because I'm going to be 36 in November.
What are you saying? I can't hear you.
Gen X was born between 65 and 1979.
Yeah,
so
between
79, 80.
79, I'm on that cusp right there.
So age is 41 to 56 right now.
Wait, when was the first one? You born in 60 what?
65.
And you're my age, so stop trying.
No, it would have to have been boomers unless a bunch of Gen Xers were getting married at 15, right?
Yeah,
Because it
there you
peaked in the
go.
80s.
Well, you
right?
know, in certain time periods, and this is something I actually learned while doing my family history research studies, in certain periods, 15-year-olds did get married in the United States of America.
I did
Well,
not
I
get
mean-
married at 15, though. It would be boomers getting divorced. My parents got
Like
divorced.
this was considered, in certain time periods, this was a socially acceptable practice for a 15-year-old to get married.
Yeah, they
It's
had
not
their
now,
parents
but
sign off or
also-
something.
Also, you do have to keep in mind that usually the times when being 15 was old enough to get married, that was like middle-aged. You know what I
When they
mean?
died
Like
at,
you were
30,
dying at
40.
30, maybe 40. So
I mean, Clint, they still
make
do
the
that. I mean, it happened in biblical times, but in some countries, they still do that, sadly, and they shouldn't. And we should fight to stop that because it's horrible. And yeah.
I didn't get married till I was 29 and I still got divorced. Whatever.
yeah, right. I think we
Well,
all
you know,
kind of
nobody's immune from it. Nobody who gets married, not even in religious circles, which may surprise some of you, even a lot of people in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the divorce stats are very, very climbing. Oh, what did you put in there, Kat?
Oh, just that some places in the US, you can still get married at a very young age.
I know that's very frightening. They really shouldn't allow that because marriage is a big responsibility that should require responsible people to maybe take a test or something.
Yeah,
If they're
but I
responsible
mean,
enough.
so is having a child, you know, but like, I mean, some people that shouldn't be are just popping them out, you know, so I don't know how you can really regulate something
And
like
a
that.
lot of older people are still not smarter than a lot of 13-year-olds, 15-year-olds. But I'm not,
You know,
I don't
this
agree
is
with
a
it, and I
really-
don't think it should be either. I'm just saying.
This is a really, I mean, it's kind of like an off the wall comment, but I don't know. Maybe there's room for a bunch of writers. Maybe there's room for a sitcom to be started out by it. But they say the demographic that's getting hit by STDs the hardest is
Retirement homes.
Oh wow.
Oh my
because they're just
God.
fucking partying, you know. So like,
I mean,
maybe that's a new sitcom.
I think both of these would be things for like with the writer strike and everything, and actor strike, reality shows. Sorry. But of one, whatever they call 15-year-old marriage, be a show called that or something. See how that happens when it goes. I don't want to see it, but or the thing about your retirement home thing.
Dude, just like Love Island Seniors Edition, you know?
Senior escapades, whatever.
Oh, that's Ethel, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, they love me. Oh, that's funny.
Golden Girls. Yeah.
I don't know what to say to this very awkward conversation.
Yeah, it is very awkward. It felt
Hey.
awkward coming out hearing it. It's
Human
like,
sexuality is a beautiful thing, man. You know?
this is awkward.
Picture
Okay.
Graham, you know?
What they said in the show that I don't think was in the script, after Phoebe said all her stuff of like that it was just like the same when she came to New York, like comparing it to Rachel, she walked up in the show, she like stepped away, and Ross says, and what you say to that is, anyways, and continue on. So we'll do that
Oh,
segue
my
right here after
goodness.
that conversation.
Ross was like
Anyways,
centered. You know, that Ross
Anyways.
was pretty much into himself a lot. No wonder he was married and divorced 3 times.
hey now. Okay.
Hey, no offense, Jacob, but Ross
No, I
was
wasn't
very
taking it personally.
self-centered.
Okay.
He was a very self-centered character and really neat. Like having a kid maybe woke him up a little. I remember when Rachel said that she was pregnant, he just sat there like he had been hit with something over the head. It was so funny to watch.
I mean, that's the thing about us as writers or actors, like, how do you play that? Because you could play that moment so many different ways. You could choose so many different
Totally.
reactions. How long does it take them to absorb it? What are they immediately excited? Are they shocked? Are they like, what? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, sometimes actors will improv and then the people that be, the powers that be will like the improv so much, so they'll just keep the improv and throw everything else away. But I think that's
I think
fair.
about like shows like Modern Family didn't improv at all, and it was entirely scripted to a T. But there's so many things.
You're freezing up, Morgan.
Yeah. It was kind of coming back, but now it's kind of totally frozen.
Clint, what are you doing?
Oh, I was
Imitating.
mimicking
I don't want to know.
imitating the breakup of the communication. I believe
I hope
yeah,
you come
talk about the foresight of Led Zeppelin to come up with a song called Communication Breakdown before anybody was even on Zoom. I mean, come on, dude. That's
Other forms of
that's
communication. But what
Am
she
I
was talking about is,
Here
oh, now
you
you're
are.
back. Yeah, was that called Script Perfect? Is that the one that was referred to? Or kind of
You're freezing again. Oh, I see some lovely pets here while we're waiting.
Hear me now.
no.
bro, we can't. Yeah, it's too broken up. So
No.
maybe you can type it, Morgan. Oh, now we hear the no.
How about
We heard
now?
that. We can hear you. You're not
but your
moving.
face is frozen.
Maybe
Maybe
hide the video.
Can you hear me now?
Hide the
it's
video. There you
glitch in
go.
the Matrix.
Yes, they don't want this information out. They're blocking it.
Exactly.
Try again, Morgan. It's
How
yellow.
about now?
Right there, we did.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Now, too.
that was half cut out. All right, just try and say it. Say it again, and let's see if we get it.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying about Modern Family, how everything is scripted to a T. It's, I mean, in my opinion, one of the greatest shows ever created. And there's some things that still can't be read on the page because it's just so much physical comedy that even if you read it, it's not going to read the same as if you were to get the actor to do it. So even if there's no improv at all, there's going to be those moments that it just takes a very skilled actor to be able to pull those kinds of things off and to make the comedy out of it.
Totally.
That probably explains why there aren't very many actions and descriptions in the script. I mean, there was very, very little, other than the changing of the scene. So there wasn't
Totally.
anything about what the characters were doing, the occasional raiding the fridge or the coffee table being put together. But yeah, very, very little of.
That's a good point, Kat. It was
I'm glad you
really
brought that
like
up.
they're in the house, they're at the kitchen table or something like that. And everything else was left open to what the actors want to do.
And I did check. This was a first draft, but I am curious, like you're saying, like how much rehearsal they had or how much time blocking. They probably did a lot because it's in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
So I guess
I
they
always wonder when I see shows like this and the characters are so well defined, and that's one of the things I loved about Friends so much is how well the characters were defined and how much growth they had. But I always wonder, like, first kick at the can in the pilot, how much are the actors coming with a character in their mind? How much is director input? All those kinds of things. I'm so curious about how much input came from which piece.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I think that's part of why some things work and some don't, right? Is how defined the characters are and how relatable they are and all of the things. Because some shows just fall so flat, they never get past the first season.
Yeah. And then another aspect of that would be casting, that who they cast as the actors and the characters to play those roles.
It does play like a lot. I'm sure you've seen movies where, they just maybe cast most of it and then they were just like, screw it, we just got to fill this position, and they got somebody in there. Like, it really makes a big difference if that, even if it's a minor character and the guy's just not fit for the role, like it really affects it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like this industry so much is the level of you got to hit kind of all the right boxes, because if one of them falls, the whole thing falls apart. It's a big team effort to get this working.
And this show has like 6 major characters in it. They all have to have good chemistry with each other for it to work. And so they had a lot of casting auditions to get the right 6. And that'd be really hard.
That's another thing. It seems like with writing, well, one, all the different arcs to follow and what episode is on who and what, but also seems like this could help keeping it going, because whatever one is working and more interesting, you can follow that tangent at the time. You can have a lot to go off of rather than just making it interesting with 2 people the whole time or something, I think. So this had 6. Seinfeld had 4. What I guess other ones that are maybe less people are probably, they still have the family that are big characters or something. Because I'm thinking of like Everybody Loves Raymond. All the family members are huge part.
Full House had a decent amount of characters, right?
Yeah.
I'm bringing up Modern Family again because it fits.
It does. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Kat.
So just the Brady Bunch, and you have obviously a really, really old show and with children instead of adults, but
Oh, come on. I know what the Birdie Bunch is,
But I-
Kat.
yes, but I'm saying my point is that, that they have to have, there's so many different dynamics of each character in that show, even though they're all one family, they all have separate personalities they have to mesh together.
Can you guys think of any what TV shows went on the longest that seemed to have the fewest cast members?
That went on the
Company.
longest?
Yeah, that like that because I was saying like that's part of this is like how long these things can keep going, finding stories and stay interesting.
Mad
would
about
say
you.
Oh,
Three's
sorry.
Company lasted a while.
Yeah, that's few. Roxzane, what were you saying?
Mad about you.
Mad about you.
Because there's
Not
two of
in the
them,
middle,
right?
kind of.
Except that they had Ursula in their restaurant. Phoebe's twin.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Been 2 hours. Any other thoughts?
What's next week?
Oh, that's good. I think I am sufficiently done.
Next week is a good question. Let me look up that.
And while
And
you're
then-
doing that, are there going to be any script contests in 2024 that we all, because I might actually feel ready to submit to share that one that I wanted to before.
Yes, I'm guessing there will be.
Because I think this group would have a lot of fun reading that. It's the disability one.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, finish it this year, and maybe you can do a couple revisions for the next year, and then we read it just to get ahead of it.
Well, I hope you or Angelina would be the one to help me revise it.
Okay, so next week is Doctor Who 911 Heaven Sent.
Oh, yay.
Wait,
So that's-
like Doctor Who, as in like,
As in Doctor Who.
damn, that's
So-
gonna be fun, dude.
Yeah. And I was talking to someone. Have you guys heard of weaudition.com?
Not
Uh,
really.
So it's something where if people are doing like what was it called? A self-tape or a reading or need some other actor to act with them on it or whatever, they can go on there, they pay a few bucks, like $10 or something, then they can get the other actor to read with them. But it also goes the other way, that other people can sign up to be actors to read with other people. So you can put up a line and somebody might say, hey, are you available? Can I pay you this amount to read this with me or do that with me? So
That sounds cool.
Cool.
yeah. So
Is that our first corporate sponsor?
I wish, but no, I had a date with someone who was an actress and she mentioned it. We talked about it. So
All right.
I'm like, I'm going to share that with the group. But yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Was
So
this
what's it called again?
was this one of the dates that they talked about, like in the episode of Friends?
Was
I
it really?
know
a date?
it wasn't a
That's
date. It wasn't
Jacob's
a date.
personal.
Oh, it wasn't one of those. It wasn't a date.
business.
It wasn't a date.
Ah, so you got lucky.
Yeah,
then,
that's
huh?
that's Jacob's
No,
personal
no.
life. Hey,
That's what they said, right?
Stephen.
If it's
All of a sudden, it
Mhm.
sounds like a very interesting conversation that my dog needed to go out.
yeah, that's Jacob's personal life. Let's not go
just
intruding
giving
in
them a hard time, you know. That's
places
what we
where
got
we
to do.
shouldn't.
Mentioned something about green rooms and parties. I don't know what that all means.
Yeah, we were just talking about this audition site and like if anything else is personal life and shouldn't be discussed.
So this is the page. Not a corporate sponsor, but if you'd like to sponsor Table Read Tuesday and have us talk about you during the intermission or afterwards, please contact us at Table Read Tuesday.
Yeah, I am just trying to figure out
gmail.com.
how to do better self-tapes. I've been trying and trying, but I don't think I have it yet because I can't print anything. My printer doesn't work, but so I have to read off screen and it's like,
And that's fine. That seems like I mean, I don't know if that's one, but I know some of the things they're striking for and things in the contracts are stuff like that about how much they can ask for a self-tape, how much time do they have to give you before it, how long before they can give you a response and all that stuff. I think
Oh.
that's stuff getting into the contracts.
do you think they're striking for greater diversity in the industry? Because there's not really a lot, like actors with disabilities really aren't used or considered useful up here yet.
I don't know. I know that's not the hot topic items of this strike.
I
at the
wish
moment.
it was.
It might be included in there as well. But I mean, if these things go by, that won't matter at all. because if they just use AI, like we film people once and we use them forever, they're not going to need someone diverse and not diverse for their entering.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
fair enough.
But on that happy note,
If you
anyway,
haven't heard Justine Bateman speak about really the issues with AI, she is a good person to look up and hear her views on it.
did you want to share the specific one you found in the Facebook group?
No, I watched
Okay.
Justine Bateman a lot on Twitter, actually. But she has been extremely vocal about what's going on and why it's important. All of that good stuff.
All
Cool.
right.
I
I'm
brought up
down to
some
check
for
it out.
sure. But yeah,
Justine.
all right, dudes, friends, amigas. See you guys next week for Doctor
See
Who,
you.
if you can. If you can't, let us know in the little polls. All right. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Stay friendly.